The city of Liverpool, like the rest of the country, was desperate for a better economic outlook. But inflation has now hit a 30-year high, pushing real wages into the red and setting up 2022 for a historic squeeze on our living standards.
At the moment, it just seems like complete chaos. We can't control any pricing that we've been given. It is hugely expensive. It's kind of verging on insane.
This is Mar Boyles. It's loaded with debt, facing crippling energy costs and food price hikes it can't pass on to consumers.
Once you think you've ridden out one problem, another one comes around the corner. Letters are arriving on a daily basis from every single supplier saying prices are going up. So we can only put our prices up so far before we price ourselves out the market. We can't carry on with tripling our cost base for gas, electricity, and also then the pressures for food, for drink. It's literally across the board. There isn't one thing that hasn't gone up.
And this is the plea to government.
So I really, really want the government to take notice in terms of what we're kind of dealing with here, and to please, please pull focus back onto the important issues. Otherwise, businesses like us won't be around.
In December, inflation rose by 5.4%, cancelling out the earnings growth of 3.8%. And at the heart of soaring prices are staple supermarket items, like margarine, which was up 27%. Milk and lamb climbed more than 8%, and the price of eggs rose over 7%. And bread was almost 4.5% dearer. And it's not just the food on your plate. Clothes were 4.6% more expensive, and car prices accelerated almost 14%, with house prices rocketing by 10%. David Edgerton is an economic historian and author of The Rise and Fall of the British Nation. He says economic turmoil has shaped the history of Britain for the last century.
Prices, incomes, benefits, these are the stuff of politics. I think there's, of course, a lot of froth around sleaze and corruption and personal misdemeanours and all this kind of thing.
But the truth is, it's the Clinton line, it's the economy.
It's the economy stupid, yes. And indeed, it is extraordinary the extent to which British politics, right through the 20th century and the 21st century, is essentially governed by political economy.
The Lehman crash left the global economy in tatters. In the decade that followed, mass unemployment was avoided, but at the cost of stagnant wages. These supposed good times provided a difficult backdrop to the current crisis.
I think there's a potential for things to get quite serious. Real wages have not grown very much in the last 10 years or so. So the squeeze has been going on for a long time. We're adding something quite dramatic to a slow squeeze, if you like. If you go back to the 1970s, we had high inflation, but we also had high rises in wages. We had a decent level of economic growth.
And in the current crisis, who's taking the most pain?
The lower paid are taking the most pain. Those in insecure jobs are taking the most pain. The middle classes are not taking the most pain, and the old are not taking the most pain. So we've entrenched inequality. In fact, we've increased inequality through the pandemic, and I don't see that changing.
The current squeeze on living standards is set against the awkward reality of record stock markets and bumper house prices, underlining the enduring challenges that face the British economy and its ability to see wealth spread more widely.